back to
Dr.
Demeure.
Demeure, yes. But he did not write anything. But I will just check again.
Oh. It is our time. It is a pleasure to be here again. Looking forward to have another great study, and we'll start with a brief prayer. Father, here we are again. Happy to be here among friends from both sides, trying to know a little bit better about this wonderful topic, mediumship. Be with us through this study, giving us the intuition, helping us to find the pearls on the test, at least to open up our doubts, and who knows, future research. Be with us today and always. So be it. So, let me share the screen. Of course. Why is not here? Well, let me go back. No, it's not. So stop sharing. That's not what we want. Let me try to. You're not going to share anything now. Let me open again the Acrobat, because for some reason I could not share the Acrobat. Okay, we will try again. Oh yes, this time it did work. Let me reduce a bit the size. I could see that you guys had a wonderful study. And this topic in particular, I like pretty much. And healing mediums. And there is a lot of unknowns behind this topic. There is a lot of beliefs that have been created based on theories that sometimes we cannot even be sure. But that's a very, very nice topic anyway. So I will start on the item 176. Following our responses we received from the spirits on the subject. 1. May we regard individuals gifted with magnetic power as forming a variety of mediumship? You should have no questions about that. Yes. Healing mediums, the person that has the ability to alleviate the pain, is not doing that alone. He's acting as a go-between, someone that can, and the subject that is in need of help. So if we do have this characteristic of alleviate pain of someone, it's not us. We are acting as a facilitator for that phenomenon. Right? 2. So mediums are intermediaries between spirits and humans, while magnetizers, who draw up with their own forces, do not appear to serve as intermediaries for any foreign power. Regardless if they believe or not in the answer. That is an erroneous idea. Magnetic force belongs to the individuals, but is augmented with the help of the spirits to whom they appeal for it. For example, if you use magnetism to heal and you evoke a good spirit to take an interest in both you and the sick person, it augments your own forces and willpower by directing your fluids and giving them the necessary qualities. This is also in line with, well, before I make this comment, there are several degrees of healing mediums. I'll go even beyond that. There are several degrees of human beings with this ability. The great majority of them don't even know they are mediums. Let's think about ourselves when we were very young. We were toddlers, 2 years old. When we tripped and fell and hurt our knees, what our mom did to us straight away. She blew, this is nothing. Come on, I'll give you a kiss. And that will heal. That will reduce your pain. That's a very simple example. And it's a very effective too. If we increase the number of examples and varieties of this mediumship, those that do healings on the Spirit Center, just laying their hands, they are not different than us. The great majority is there with the goodwill, donating whatever he or she may donate for this person in need. And there is another levels of healing mediums where you will see through the medium's book only a look, a touch of the hand, or even other things is enough to really eliminate the pain altogether of the person. So we need to understand that healing mediums, we all can be to a certain degree. When we talk about healing mediums per se, those that do true healing, magnificent healings, as some people say, they are mediums of physical effects to a different degree. And because they have that different degree, they are able to get a better connection with the spiritual friends, benefactors, and they work together. Now, going back to that question, where Kardec says that is an erroneous idea already. Even if the magnetizer does not think about asking for help for a good spirit, for his intent, if his intent is positive, if his heart is in the right place, he's never alone. Never. He may not believe, he may do not know, may don't want to know, but he's never alone. Likewise, all doctors, all surgeons, they are never alone. Even if they don't believe in anything, only in the medicine itself. If their heart is in the right place, they are never alone. If they do believe and connect with them, even better. But they are never alone. So to to try to make it a little bit clearer to everyone. Hi, Charles.
Yes, Guillaume, by the way, this is linked also to another question, because somewhere else Kardec wrote that he was admitting that this type of magnetizer who have been trained and using their own magnetism to help people could charge, like a doctor can charge.
Mm-hmm.
So, but on the other hand, he says that a medium shall not charge, because he would sell something who does not belong to him, over which he has no control. So this seems, you just told the magnetizer as a doctor, of course, even if it's his profession, he has studied several years this faculty to exercise it. Nothing prevents him to be inspired, like anyone in his work. So it's important to make this difference between, I would say, pure mediumship and making a work, whatever it is, with your heart, and having the benefit of the inspiration of the spirits together.
I don't think I mentioned that here yet, but I've mentioned that elsewhere for sure. Something like 15 years ago, maybe a bit more, I had to start a research for one specific work we were planning to start. And as part of it, I engaged myself in learning what is very popular in some areas called Reiki. In my research, I was looking for every type of magnetizing method that could be available nowadays, and Reiki is one of them, regardless if they believe is magnetizing or not. And I had to pay for this training, and I see there was an structure on the training, and through the process I realized that what they do is healing. The spirit is healing. Is this exactly the same mechanism, exactly the same thing? And I did. I tried all the procedures, I tried all the methods. There was course 1, course 2, you name it. I don't remember all of that anymore. And I did because that was in my spectrum of research. Fair enough. On the end, some of the colleagues that were doing the same course or training, they were entitled to give that training to people and to charge for it. My whole reasoning was, I cannot do it. Because I identify what they do as use of mediumship. And as such, I cannot allow myself to make any profit of what I am able to identify as mediumship. Saying that is not that I regret doing this study, nor that I blame who does, nor that I judge who does, because I have no quarrel with that at all. But through the research and through the analysis, I could identify that it's exactly the same method. Likewise, through the same process, I was researching magnetizers, magnetizing methods. I've spoken with well-known magnetizers and everything, and some people do charge for it. I feel free to use the method, but I don't feel that I can charge if I do that. Because once again, I identify that the method used also by magnetizers is exactly in line with mediumship. And as such, myself, I cannot use that for financial return. But yeah, why I'm saying that? Because the line is very thin. And it's very difficult to draw a line between one and another. And if you try, like I did during the research, we start to think like, where do we start one thing? Where do I finish with that thing? Where I draw the line, a little bit more to the left, or a little bit more to the right. It's not easy. It's not easy. But being a spiritist and a medium does help me to identify where I draw my line. But that's open to everyone's discretion, right? And Daniel, I saw that you raised your hand.
You just answered my question.
Good.
Thank you.
Reading your thoughts. Nonetheless, there are excellent magnetizers who do not believe in spirits. So, do you think that spirits only act upon those who believe in them? Those who magnetize for good purpose are aided by good spirits. All those with moral aspirations call to them without realizing it, by their actions, by their thoughts, by their heart. In the same way that through the desire of evil and bad intentions, or the call to evil ones. Then I have a question then. For the magnetizer who is charging money, is there also a spirit work with him? Yes. Yes. Because our Father, he finds any way as possible to help those that are in need. And the magnetizer does not know what we know. In that case, there is a good spirit that is able to identify his heart, his intent, also the need of the patient. I can go even further. I may be a magnetizer. I may not have that good heart, but as we know, mediumship is organic. The fluids the magnetizer use is organic, but the person in need really deserves that support. So even in that case, we may have good spirits working with people that are not that good to help those that deserve, are in need. Hi, Liz.
Definition question. I'm currently studying autonomic response testing under my holistic doctor, Dietrich Klinghardt. And it's like an advanced form of kinesiology. Now, as far as I'm aware, I think it's the spirit themselves whose body and muscles respond to the questions on where their symptoms are and what the remedies are best for that person. But I may be wrong. Is it a form of magnetism? Is it a form of mediumship? When you are working with a patient or you're working indirectly with an intermediary between you and the patient, and using the response of the muscles, which they go weak, as a yes. How would you define that, whether it's mediumship or?
Okay, I had a little bit problems with the communications. You're breaking up a little bit in the beginning. So can you explain to me the method, how it works?
Yeah. If people understand how kinesiology works, where you mentally ask the patient a question and you actually touch intentionally the part that you want to check for any symptoms. You simultaneously hold the patient's arm, wrist in a certain way. And if there is any disintegration of that organ for any reason, the muscle will go weak, and the
Okay.
patient doesn't have any conscious control over that. But unconsciously, obviously, the spirit is letting you know. So I don't know how to define that regarding mediumship or magnetism.
Okay, so let's start speaking about people from different lines, from different creeds, from different methods. They call the same thing different names.
Yeah,
What you have described is somnambulism in the Spiritism. In the Spiritism, this ability may be used in the situation where we want to treat someone that may have this ability. So somnambulism and detachment of your perispirit. You have those two possibilities. So to make that happen, you need to have some degree of mediumship. It's not going to work with everyone. If I understood well, this mechanism you described, to me, is what the Spiritism calls somnambulism. And somnambulism is a bit easier to understand when we understand the detachment of our own perispirit. Okay? So to give a brief answer, yes, it is related to mediumship, and there's nothing to do with magnetism, the raw magnetism, because you can induce detachment and somnambulism through magnetism. But that's a different thing, right? So giving you a short answer, yes, is mediumship.
thank you very
All right.
much. Yeah,
But that's one thing that I always encourage people to read about everything, to research about everything. But here, we are Spiritism. And then we always need to try to make the liaison between what any other line decide to call, use, or whatever, through Spiritism. And until today, everything I read, every research I did with the different creeds or lines, if you like, I always found the answer in Kardec. So now is the number 4, right? Yeah. Thank you, Liz. I really appreciate your question. That was very nice. Would magnetizers who believe in the intervention of spirits act more effectively? They could do things that would be regarded as miracles. And that is something that does not apply only to the healing topic as we are having here. On the mediumship meeting, we can see that clearly too. If we believe the spirits are working with us, we can do things a lot of people will say is impossible. It's not true. He is losing the plot, or he's under obsidizing process. He's obsidiated because he thinks he's doing something and it's not possible. And I go beyond that. I don't believe. I know. I know they are there. They are with us in the meeting. I know what they can do. If you, in particular, did not have that exposure, that's fine. It's time to get acquainted to those possibilities and this type of exposure. But it's not because you never had that experience that it does not exist. If you never had that experience, means still place to study and to get acquainted to that level of experience. And if you do, going back now to the question with magnetizer, I know I don't do anything. I'm just the vessel. I'm just the go-between. I'm just the pipe. And who does? Through me is my guide angel, is my guide, is my benefactor, is the spirit. You call the name you want to call. Is the spirit, anyway. I can go even beyond. As nothing happens without his permission, I can even say, he is working through me. I have no or very little impact in what is happening as a result. He's working through me to help those that are in need. Am I right? Practice will tell you. Because there's a lot of things we can learn on the book, but we don't learn mediumship in the book. People may defend that theory, but we learn mediumship, how to deal, how to handle, how to use in the practice. And through the practice, working with those spirits that are dedicated to alleviate pain, and as a consequence, alleviate the pain of the spirit of the incarnated, things happen. But I'm not here, as I said many times, and I'll say again, I'm not here to convince anyone. But I also say to people, look at the results. Do your own research. But I mean a thorough research, not going into the internet to find things that are real or not real, or true or false. Do your research. Go in place, in the physical place, to see by yourselves the results. And that is part of a learning process too. But back to the question. We know that miracle does not exist, right? But the expression he's using is to give the idea to people that magnetizers, they are conscious about the spiritual world, working with them, they can do wonders. And someone more than 2,000 years ago said that we could do wonders. But the problem is we do not believe. And we see that in the mediumship meeting too. There's a lot of things that people do not believe is possible, and we miss a lot of opportunities to help people. And spirits. Because when I talk people, I'm talking about spirits. And I don't care if the spirit is incarnated or discarnated. It is a spirit. So we should not waste an opportunity to help one spirit. Because if you guys like or not, you will return to the spiritual world and you may need some help. And when you do need some help, I'm convinced that you'll be praying, crying, screaming for help. And sometimes, if you don't find that help or anyone available to help, that pain may last a bit longer, right? Next item, 5. Do some individuals actually have the gift of being able to heal by simple touch without employing magnetic passes? The answer is straightforward. Certainly. Haven't you seen several examples? Yeah. Sometimes the excess of fluid, of magnetism, is so strong, not to use the word powerful, because powerful, people may think they are powerful, and that's not nice. That you touch, you alleviate. Bear in mind that here we are talking about incarnated people. They are suffering. They are having physical problems. But nevertheless, there is a spirit inside that body. It does mean that the same mechanism can be used to help the spirit in any place he is. Do such a cases involve magnetic action or only the influence of spirits? Both. Such individuals are bona fide mediums since they act under the influence of spirits. But that does not mean that they are what you understand to be healing mediums, for example. Let's try to, I think the subject is very, very interesting, but can be complicated too. Let's consider that we have three options, three possibilities of healing. One, the magnetizer that only uses his fluid, his physical fluid, to alleviate. The magnetizer, there are lots of books about that from the old age, from the early magnetizers. You can magnetize using animals. You can magnetize using vegetables. You can magnetize using trees. So we magnetize using fluids from more than one origin. No spirits involved. Okay? We just know how to deal with the fluids. We have the situation that we can call mixed, where you have the fluids of the medium mixed with the fluids of the spirit, the benefactor. So we call that mixed healing. And the great majority of healing is like that. And we also have the spiritual healing, means the fluid directly from the spirit to the person in need. Okay? That's just to give an idea of the three possibilities we may encounter, not only in this test, but also in another additional reading. We may go on the internet, or we may go on a book or whatever. Okay? Is this power transmittable? Not the power itself, but rather the understanding of what is needed to exert it when one possesses it. There are those who would not even suspect they had this power if they did not think that it had been transmitted to them. I have my own personal point of view, but I will speak here what we see in the practice. I always try to use the practice as my anchor. When we were about to start one activity on the Spirit Center related to healing, because we were told by the spiritual guides of the center that was something to do. Before we start the activity, we asked the benefactors who is in condition or who should participate on that task. And the response was quite surprising at the time, because people I could swear they were part of it, the name was not listed. And the people that myself would never ask them to be part of it, they were on the list. Why I'm saying that? Because I cannot say who is or who is not, who have or hasn't this characteristic. I can't. And if I pretend that I can, I will make mistakes. For example, in that work I described to you guys here, if I was the one to establish the names to be part of the group, at least 30% of the names, I would be wrong. So now, can we transmit that characteristic? My technical answer would be no. But it's our duty to transmit what we learned, so others perhaps can identify themselves and to multiply that possibility to help others. Next item. You are so quiet today. No one is talking. Only Charles spoke to me. Who else? Daniel a little bit. You too quiet today. Can healing? Hi, Liz. I forgot you, Liz. Yes, you helped me
Hi
too.
there. I've only just put my hand up, and I was going to wait to the end of the chapter, but I would like to revert to what Charles said about charging. A doctor, because of his training, is able to charge. We as mediums, our conscious should not allow us to charge. If I train and I can do the diagnostics, I get a certificate. It's not the same as a fully fledged doctor, obviously. Now, it's a different scenario. Can you charge if that money is going to go for remedies to help those that can't afford it?
Nope.
Can you ask for donations?
Nope.
You can't.
No. I'm telling you my opinion. No.
Yeah.
Let me explain why for the first one. Today, I'm a human being. I can be corrupted. Today, I'm charging with the best intentions ever. Tomorrow, because I'm so used to charge, I may decide to take 10% of what I charge to pay my electricity bill because its price is going very high right now, isn't it? Skyrocket, to be honest. And that is a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah, we're putting ourselves in temptation's way more and being able to be affected by those that wish to take
We
us
have
off
to
our path.
remember that we are humans.
Yeah.
We made lots of mistakes and we will make more mistakes. So we need to be careful.
Thank
Now,
you.
in regards to donation, you're asking for a donation related to
Helping
something.
those that can't afford the remedies that will heal them.
No, I understand, but I'm going there. You're asking for something. I will remove the word remedies. You're asking for something in return of your use of mediumship to heal. Now I'll bring the word medicine. I can see a good intention. I will heal you, Liz. You give me one bag of medicine, and I'll give that medicine to Charles because Charles is in need. In theory, yes, we are doing a good action. But now going back to the original sentence, and I remove the word remedy. I'll bring food. I'll do the same. I use my mediumship. You give me food. I give the food to Charles because Charles is hungry. And I still have that idea that, yes, it's very good. I'm doing charity. Now I'll remove the word food. And I'll bring the word money. I'm going to use Charles again. Charles is also in need of money. I gave the money to Charles to help him. Seems to be okay. I'm helping. But one day, I may use that word that I'm changing for a different destiny. So I don't ask for charity. I don't ask for donations. I don't ask for donations, and I'm not in favor of anyone asking for donations in a spiritist center. And that shocked people. And my wife is here beside me, and she'll tell that I'm telling the truth, because I'm totally against asking things on a spiritist center, and on a lecture or in a work. I'm not in favor. What I'm in favor of is, if the person comes to me, I would like to help. What can I, and it happens many times. What can I do? Can I do money? My friend, we do several different types of assistance work here. We take clothes to this place, we take food to this place, we go to the hospital to do this. See yourself where you feel better, where you fit like. And if you want to take food to that place, you do that directly to that place. That's the way I feel. That's the way I do. Because once again, we are human beings. Everything starts well and can derivate, diverted, and the result won't be nice.
Yeah.
So I have a hand from Ana Paula. Hi, Ana Paula.
Hi. I just want to say that this is your opinion, of course, and it's no way that we find this written by Kardec. And I want to say that as I think it's a little tight there, because when we pray for the Father, our Father, we say that do not let us fall in temptation, because I learned in that the temptations are a way to go through the tests, to the proofs we have in the incarnation we need to go through in this level we are. So if you say that you're making sure you are not doing something wrong, but the universe, the laws of your reincarnation here, your plan, gonna keep bringing things to make sure. So this is, I just do not agree with you in this thinking. Don't do because you can fall in temptation. I'm thinking it's a lot of things you could have been doing if you did that, until you know who you are or not, by coming and falling in temptation. So it just
I love what you said. You just said. Let me explain why I love. First of all, I start saying my own opinion, because Kardec never said to anyone to accept money or not to accept money. You are totally right. Kardec never said to anyone to accept donations or not to accept donations. So you are 100% right. But it's not because he said or he not said that does make you right or wrong. In light of what you said about trying to escape from temptations, I prefer to be smart and to avoid things that I know may create another stone in my way. It's the same reason why I'm not going to the brothels of life. Because it's one of the things that can make me fall. If I know that if I'm become regular in a brothel, it will expose me to something I don't want, I will not do it.
It was the concern that Divaldo had when, in the beginning of the movie, we can see that, of course, in his biography, that it was asked him to go help the mothers there. Mm-hmm. And I understand what you're saying, but you don't need to explain yourself. I'm just saying that each one of us live in different countries. It's much more difficult, for example, for you to do the charity you do in England or in Brazil, in Denmark.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna say I'm gonna involve with something, it's different. So also at one point, other point is that different the way the culture, the people look at it. So do not ask to bring a medium and do a palestra, I would say in English,
Mhm.
to
Lecture.
talk, for example, yeah, a lecture. You may you don't want to charge. You have to pay the rent, and you don't need so much money. You can just say if you want to leave some, so you don't put a price in the medium that comes, or something like that. It's seen different in Denmark than other places, for example.
No, I know.
So-
I know.
So it's just what I'm saying.
No, I know. No,
it's
no,
not-
I know. I'm just using what you said because I thought was beautiful. It's very pertinent to what we do
Yes.
here. I love it.
Yeah.
When I mean, I
Uh-huh.
love it. It's true. And
Mhm,
those scenarios you just said, to me, it doesn't matter.
mhm.
I would act exactly the same
It's you. Yeah, I understand.
because that's my understanding of mediumship.
Mhm.
This is my understanding of what spiritism is.
Yeah, but one thing is you asking for charity. Another thing is you saying like if you come, you need to donate something. Other thing is to leave it open. Who frequents that place that doesn't pay mensual and so it doesn't support with rent or light of the place, that any money that he can put there in that determinate place is
Mhm.
going through the actions that we work with. Because here no one pays. There's no Brazilian and no one that pays per month like in association
Mhm.
way that Center Spiritually. So it's different. It's different in all the matters. I'm just saying that.
I know I had contact here outside Brazil too. I know how it works, but I would never change what I think is right in that sense. I would never change in terms, because if I'm convinced there is something different, I will change. But until today, I haven't found a reason to change that point of view. The thing is, spiritism and money does not work. Charity and money does not work. One day, something may be a problem. And I'm not saying it will be a problem, but as I said, I prefer to reduce my exposures to things that I know the human nature, and we all are humans, we may fail. But once again, I love that discussion. That was brilliant. Really was. So, Munir, I see your hand like that for half an hour now.
Waving. Hello, Glenn. Good morning, everyone. Now, I think, the discussion, deals with a subject that is very delicate, and there's a very thin line. What I understand from what you said, Guilherme, is that we shouldn't attach any form of contribution, of donation to what is offered.
Mhm.
But then on the other hand, of course, the Spiritist Center has so many works, and everyone who wants to help, they can find a way to help, as you
Mhm.
said yourself, but never condition that to say, oh, I'm not in need, but then I feel almost obliged to give a contribution to receive healing. No,
Mhm.
you receive healing, regardless of any contribution. So it's attaching a certain, contribution to what is offered. Spiritist Center, we know the Spiritist centers in Brazil, they say we have bills to pay, we have rent to pay. Whoever wants to, contribute to that, feel free, but anyone will be welcome here. You can come, you receive healing, go to the lectures and everything. We see, for instance, in the United States, it's a common procedure to ask for donation, even if you are offering something free. And they say, free entrance, donations welcome. It's almost cultural, as Ana Paula said, but we should be very careful because there is a thin line, and it's very important to say, donations, they are different departments.
Mhm.
You come, you will have, whatever you need here
Mhm.
without attaching it to any contribution.
Let me give you an example, and there was a true example in one of the spirit center. I'm still connected in Brazil. I was always very forthcoming and say, what I just explained here, right, through our conversation with Ana Paula. One day, one person went to the front on the saloon, and on the end of the lecture, before you start the healing, the person was asking for donations, for help to help the assistential work we do. The person never said that to receive the healing, you need to give something. Never said that. But we are humans. And we know that a lot of things we don't say are implied to the sentence or to the way we understand. After the event that came to my attention, I had to address the situation. And the reason is, in that saloon, perhaps we had 100 people that could interpret that the way it should. No problems, no consequences. But a minority that was also in that room with no condition at all to fulfill what he or she could interpret as a must do to be here, she would feel bad to start with, because I cannot. Not because I don't want, because I cannot. And another number of people among those 100 may never come back. And this I'm giving a true example in a healing activity in a spirit center in Brazil. But this I extend to every activity on the spirit center.
Yeah, in this case, you are creating a connection, even if you don't want. It's not the right place, it's not the right way. I agree with you 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I had to do lectures before we start that work. And one day, one person came forthcoming. I would like to help. How can I help? This is in front of everyone. Can I offer money? Can I? My friend, if you want to help, tomorrow we go on the center of town to distribute food among the homeless. You are more than welcome to come. That's it. As I said in the beginning, sometimes those lines are so thin that we can breach and we can put in risk our wonderful possibility in helping people, not now, but in the future. And as we are in a spiritist environment and we understand about obsessions, we need to consider that this little thin line in a little bit of breach could be the door for an obsession case, for example. If I study obsession, if I study the mechanism, should I not ignore that possibility? I cannot. I cannot. So there are a lot of things involved, but you guys have no idea how I'm enjoying this study today. Now is the second Liz from Wales. How are you doing, Liz?
Hi, I just came now, and then this discussion was going on, but I feel like
I won't forget you.
I just have to say something that may be very important for us all to always reflect. Well, by his love, he created us, didn't he? So God created us. And we are just temporary holders of temporary things. And the more we realize this in our lives, the more things like money and other possessions that may come about is going to bother us less and less. You say about fine line. A family can live happily for so many years. Everyone say you were close together and everything. If someone dies and leave a will, we see the other side of people. When certain things are involved, we definitely always have to be very careful. But as here being a spiritist, we must always keep that the spirits say to us, we are just a temporary holder of things. Nothing really belongs to us. Nothing really belongs to us. It all comes from God. So what do we really have? So we just need to, I think that is something that I should brought to the table at the end.
Yeah, very nice. And Paula, I saw that your hand was raised. That was raised.
I forgot to. Yes, I'm so
okay,
sorry.
Okay, all right. Nowadays, if you think about books, how many spiritist books we have today? Thousands. Is that wrong? Not at all. Should I charge for the books? Yes, we should. Because you have costs to make it available for the public. What about if we start make that a way of living? I won't say anything. I'll let that for your discretion, because it's the same thing. Because we are talking here in this study about healing for the physical body of the person. And the book, I prefer to believe, is there to heal people too, to heal their sorrows, their spiritual sufferings, to heal the spirit. So what should I do then? Should I make that a living? No. The thing is to find the balance, right? Because when I say nothing, I am totally against anything financial related to spiritism. But we cannot print a book without paying the graphics on things like that. So we need to find the balance. But being a medium in the spiritism, according to Kardec, means give for free what you have received for free. Anything that's a result of your mediumship, if you're making any profit, and profit is not only money, power, be on the news, be on the spotlight, because you may be paid in so many different ways, not only through money. So if you make the utilization of mediumship without following Kardec's guideline, give for free what you received for free, that is on you. But what I can say is, over and over on the mediumship meetings, we see the results. Because from time to time, we have the visit from discarnated mediums, and they bring to our knowledge things they would not do again. Guys, it is our time. That was really, really a good study, right? And I can see that Pablo is desperate to do our final prayer. Can you do, Pablo?
Sure. Let's say thank you to our benefactors who kindly assisted us today in our discussion. Let's thank our Master Jesus for being with us always. Let us keep the knowledge, the doubts that came to be with us today, to keep our will for further knowledge always alive in our hearts and minds. And may we insist, persist in the path of always seeking for more, for understanding more. May we all have a blessed weekend. Thank you. And so be it.
Guys, once again, thanks a lot for today. Thanks, Anna, Munir,
Thank
both
you.
Liz, Charles. That was very
Will
nice.
it be put on YouTube? Because this is a very good one to share with people who think of charging. Is this going to be saved on YouTube?
He's there already.
Thank you.
Guys,
Bye.
Bye.
see you next
Good-
week.
good
Bye-bye.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Obrigada.